What is going on, people of the internet, man? You would think it's Friday or something. Like,
It is
we
Friday.
got something good in store. Do y'all hear that? Do y'all hear that?
Ah,
Do we have a special guest? Yes, we do. Who do we have? None other than the one, the only, Bot Queen herself. What is going on, Miss Kelly? How you doing?
oh my gosh. Fun fact, I have not been live in like forever.
We had to
I've been on a
find you.
hiatus. So,
Had to
yeah,
come.
this is like my first video appearance in like 2 months. What up?
We all had to make sure, all of us chatbot folks had to make sure that the queen was okay, and she's just fine. She's just fine. She's got a
Working
lot
in
of
the
fun things
background.
in store, which I'm sure we'll get into. This
Hmm.
is going to be a fun one because
Yeah.
we going unlike Kelly, she's always on script and organized for you guys. We fly by the seat of our pants every day on one side in South Carolina on this coast, so we're
Love
just
it.
going as we please here. But we're going to keep it good, and I think it's good to be in chat marketing or message marketing, conversational commerce, whatever you want to call it. And I think that you would agree, and I think that even Facebook would agree. Is that pretty much right?
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on. I was sharing.
Awesome.
Okay. Yes, I'm here for it. Yeah, major stuff going on in the world of automation and chat marketing, and I'm here for it. I'm like excited to be like, told you so, right?
Exactly. And so many of us at this point have just had that feeling. And I know you've got a giant community, I'm in many of them. The ones that I know of, some of you got secret communities. I found out you've got all these different communities as the journey of a fan just goes on. Every time I turn around, she's got something new in this app and
Yeah.
your app circle, which or your community there. You might
My
want to talk
community.
about later on too. She's always got
Yeah.
the things going on. That's actually, guys, how I got in this game that we're in of the conversational commerce chat marketing game. Seeing her videos after understanding a little bit of what automation can do, and I can tell you, for someone that really believed in community management, I never believed this stuff would be anything. When I first saw, like, the initial chatbot, and the moment
Right.
I saw the comment tool, and then saw again, like, you teach how a Facebook Messenger account can count things, it was over from there.
I know, right? It's so cool. There's like these really, I think, okay, we got to back up for a
Yeah,
second. I'm like, so
you
much to
get right
say.
into it.
I know. So I think people overthink it, right? Especially, in our community and like the
Mm-hmm.
chat marketing community, people are overthinking it. They're like, oh, we could do the da, 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 and there's like all the things. And it's very easy to get overwhelmed and to overwhelm non-industry people. But the truth is that the simplest things are the most powerful things.
So
And
true.
those people who like understand that will be massively successful, like massively. I mean, just look at your like tap the table.
Less
It
is more.
solves, yeah, less is more. It solves so many problems,
Mm-hmm.
but it makes it so easy, and it works in these really simple concepts that, I mean, they're just mind-blowing what you can do. It's so cool. So cool.
It is, and to me, the thing that never gets lost is the ability. Although it's automation, people might think robots and such. The
Mm,
ability to immediately showcase the brand is undeniable, and
right.
so many agencies, creative agencies especially, and I used to work for one. They they're going after metrics that aren't the same as an e-commerce minded or
Hmm.
e-commerce first agency.
Right.
They're huge differences, I think. And the brand piece, although in some cases it's harder to sell because you're not talking about actual dollars and cents at times, is still so powerful. And so
It is
my
powerful.
thought goes, I want to get your take on this, coming from an agency that has generated content for the biggest brands. This agency I used to work for is Giant, and seeing what they can do and generate those kind of results. To me, it only makes sense for the super expensive creative they're already pumping out to then equate into more creative, because you can run X amount of ads in a month, right? And you can have
Right.
X amount of organic posts in a month. So
Right.
how can, as an agency that makes money off of selling creative, how can we
Hmm.
generate more creative in a month for a client? Hello, how many steps in a flow can we build? And how
Right.
many pieces of new GIF content can we now charge the clients for? This is all
Right.
got real
And how can
earth.
you trace it back to like the return on investment. Like how you and I, I know your background. I've listened to the podcast that you're on. You and I have a very similar background in the sense that we've been in the, so we're like early adapters of social media
Totally.
for businesses, right? Like we come from a different industry background, but we both got into the social world in a time when it was not popular,
Mm-hmm.
when businesses were literally laughing at you and saying it's a fad, it's not going to do a thing. And so for a long time as a social media manager, you get this pushback of, well, where's the ROI? How can I trace it back? And our argument has always been, well, like, where's the ROI of, a billboard that you drive by? There is none. The cool thing about online marketing and content marketing, we can track some metrics, right? We could track traffic and that sort of thing. But it's like going back to what you're saying. You have these agencies, big, small, whatever. They're putting money into creating content,
Mm-hmm.
great content, hopefully, right?
Hopefully.
Why not take it a step further and
Exactly.
capture people with something like a comment growth tool, which is, again, going back to what we started with, such a simple thing to do. And you could do it on Instagram and you could do it on Facebook and literally capture people. I could get their email, I could get their phone number, I can give them a lead magnet, I could follow up with them. I mean, that you could, like, I know with Tap the Table and the restaurant stuff, and I know you're building some other top secret things.
Mm-hmm.
It takes it even a step further, and it's like, not only am I getting their contact information from my content, but I'm also able to sell things. So the ROI is there. So now I can approach a client or a business and I can say, not only can we create this amazing content for you, but we're going to take it a step further and we're going to capture people.
Exactly.
So it's just so crazy, and it's amazing how much money Facebook is throwing behind this. Right? We've been saying
For
this for
real.
years. I mean, geez, I got into messenger marketing in 2000. I actually started it in about 2015 before I even knew ManyChat was. I don't even think ManyChat was a thing back then. And all
Yeah,
it
I
was
think it
the
was like
comic book tool, right? It
2017s
was,
whenever they like
yeah, it
really
was
had their giant launch, and like
exactly.
they went from, I guess the first big platform out there that I can recall would be Chat Fuel, which
Chat Fuel, I think, was the big one. And
and
actually,
you
when
use
I
Chat
started, it
Fuel at
was
least at first, at least you know what how to use it. I've never been
I've
able to
never
make a
used
single
it.
thing.
I've never
No,
used it. I
no,
mean, I
huh?
used it once and I was like, nah, this is not for me. It just wasn't, I couldn't do it. It just wasn't a platform for me. And I mean, other people love it. Cool, man. You got to use what you love. Actually, the first platform I used it was called, oh, it's not even around anymore. And literally all it was a comic growth tool. And I bought like a lifetime membership to this company. It's not even around anymore. I cannot
Mm-hmm.
remember. Message Hero. It was
Message
called
here, yeah, you
Message
told me. Yeah, I
Hero.
remember that one.
Yeah.
Let's see, how do I
I've
do
told you that story. So when ManyChat came out and they had like the flow builder, and it's like, I don't know, it's just, there's so much. And that was back in 2017. I got into that. And then just to see where it's come. And remember back in, like, what was it, in 2019, everyone at all the conferences, all the marketers who always make predictions, which we're all going
Mm-hmm.
to see coming up here in the next month. Um,
Yeah.
they were all, oh, messenger marketing, it's the future. And then, like, after 6 months or after a year, they were all like, nah, it's not, it would have happened. I'm like, no, you guys don't understand. The game just started. It hasn't even
Exactly.
started in 2019. It was like the anthem was being sung. Okay, we're in chapter one. We're in inning one,
Well,
and we're about to go into some major league, like, serious stuff here. And so the signs are all there. So everyone who gave up and we're like, nah, this was a fad, right? Because we've heard that story before.
totally.
Facebook's a
Yeah, my
fad.
whole career.
Yeah, everyone who gave up, they're going to come back. And then
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be like, yo, we told you so. And we're going to tell you why today, because the signs are there
There it
that
is.
we are
Yes.
just now getting into, like,
And this is
the next
exactly
round.
this is exactly, guys, what sparked this conversation. I want to try to position this where we don't take
Yeah, we like
away
to geek out in the
from
DM.
the
We're like, we have to bring this to the people.
yeah. Well, you know what? Here's my thought on that. If we don't, who will? You know what I'm saying?
Right?
And this
Right?
is a conversation I've had with a few, like, I would call them rock stars. You also. Um, if things are not cool, as useful as they can be, they're just not going to end up being used. And things must
Exactly.
be cool. They must be seamless, frictionless, and cool. And they must
And
have
easy.
spokespeople.
Yeah.
And, with the
Yeah.
platforms investing so heavily in the two-way communication, and they're making in what I call, like, this is like your first little taste of the good stuff right here's next to you right here, this screenshot, guys. This is a example. Hopefully I can make it big enough here. Hopefully you can see this. This example, guys, is automation, and it is the comment growth tool. So what Kelly just said a minute ago was she subscribed long ago when there weren't that many tools out there. She subscribed to, how do I put this thing back on? Here we go. Bam, found you. She subscribed to this app called Message Hero, and that's all it did was the function that now Facebook is offering natively. And what they're doing is when someone, this is specifically what it says in any of your business managers, you can see this, business.facebook.com, go to your page. In automations, which is a section on your dashboard, you're going to now have, it's brand new, as of to me, I've just saw it yesterday, I think, auto comments, and they're encouraging specifically hashtags. So now, whereas the entire lifetime of Facebook, hashtags have always kind of meant nothing other than, like, you're running a campaign, hashtag bots are cool, I can find my post maybe with this hashtag. Now Facebook's saying, what we're going to do, guys, we're going to allow them a taste of what these OG chatbot people, Ryan, Kelly, and crew, what has led them to so much success in a way has been this tool. In a lot of ways, let's give this to the masses and get them kind of hooked. This is the way I look at it, and they're going to be forced to use additional tools like ManyChat and Chatfuel and Tap the Table to achieve the end result that they're going to want immediately. I'm going to shut up here, but it blew my mind when I was the director of marketing at Surge, 17 restaurants I think at the time. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, and I'm dealing with hundreds of Facebook messages a day. Out of nowhere, all of these people are messaging me, can I see a menu? All of them in the exact same way. And I was like, statistically, this is impossible. How are people miscapitalizing, can I see a menu? The I wasn't capitalized, I remember so distinctly. I was like, this is a joke. Like, are these bad bots here that's messaging all these restaurants, can I see a menu? What is this? And then I realized, when you have defined your business page on Facebook as a restaurant, you're automatically provided certain features, and in this case, they're like the original quick replies. And I figured it out, and I was like, saw one of the videos, put it all together.
Native
I was
feature.
Like, man, wait a minute here. They want us to do this stuff, right?
Exactly. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I know for a fact, because I just wrapped up a project with Agorapulse, who won a project from Facebook. Facebook is spending an enormous amount of money to market messenger automations. Enormous, you guys. They are handing money out to companies like Agorapulse, like ManyChat, many other companies, so that they could do case studies, they could do promotions, they could do educational pieces, they can push out this concept of utilizing Messenger. So the writing's on the wall. They're releasing more and more automated features natively, as we were just mentioning. It's now native to do some of the basic comment growth tools. Quick replies instant replies, default messages. You can actually build those out in Instagram now as well, natively right now. And you can, and they're spending so much money.
So much. What blows me away is, all this. I'm trying to find a screenshot here. If I can, I'll post it on the screen. It blows me away that, guys, Facebook in general, they want people to succeed. I know that people have their thoughts on. Where
did you go? Your screen does what?
We're gonna keep it on you for a minute here.
Hey,
talk a little bit.
Hi everyone.
Like, Ryan, no one wants to see Ryan. These are the signs.
Oh my gosh!
Right.
This is fun.
My thought here, guys, is Facebook wants us to succeed. They want the ads to be effective because why? You'll buy more.
You'll make more money. They'll make more money. Everyone makes more money.
Exactly, and that's the whole point. And so my entire career has been very difficult to, at times, as you started off, show the worth and show the ROI, especially if it is a brand piece. You got time on brand and these different metrics, but it's so hard to show, hey, this post got this thing. Well, now, specifically with the hashtag tool that they've just introduced natively for free for everyone, Facebook has just done this, they're going to see the power of automation at scale. They're going to say, holy cow, whenever we hashtag this and just like we set it up, we used hashtag, contest or whatever. And when they're doing this, we're seeing them in the DMs. Wow, this Facebook stuff works. This is not just a bunch of anonymous likes and likes and stuff. These are real people, and we can find out information, right?
Yeah. And when Facebook makes these kind of moves, it's a signal to us, right? So for like a long time, for instance, there was all this discussion around engagement baiting, for instance. Anyone interested in knowing more about engagement baiting? Woo. A lot of people thought that engagement baiting, Facebook said, okay, if you are engagement baiting, then we are going to degrade your content in the reach department. And so a lot of, oh, there you are. So it's so weird seeing myself on camera and nobody's talking to me. And so a lot of people, especially in the chat marketing space, are like, well, how do we get around that with the comment growth tool, right? Because saying, say this word below and we're going to get hurt. So it's like this very gray area. But when Facebook makes these changes that are native, they're signaling to you, this is okay, right? So they're
Exactly.
signaling to you, especially with like the hashtag concept that they just released, they're saying with no uncertain terms, like, this is what we want. This is okay. So follow suit. You should be taking these as signals that not only are we all going in the right direction, and if you are
Mhm.
vested in the chat automation space, you are in the right spot, but also that the way that they are presenting it is the way you should be adopting it no matter what platform you're building.
And this is the thing where I always wanted to fight with Gary Vee on this thing, but the patience thing. This is where it's so clutch and so key. Where I
Mm-hmm.
want everything right now and yesterday, and I'll move faster than anybody and work longer
Yeah, I
hours
feel
than
you.
anybody. I feel like there are some things I can't just force and can't just do. I can't make
I was just
Instagram
thinking that too. I was
provide
just
the
thinking this
comment
patience
growth
thing,
tool. You know what I'm saying? Like
right?
I've wanted it. I've been telling my clients since January of 2020. I smell it. The Instagram comment tool is coming. So just how you love and are so flabbergasted that you just tap this NFC sticker. Now I know all your information on this Google spreadsheet. Now your mind's just blown, and I can have an email list faster than you can say the name of your business. Yes, you
Right.
want this for Instagram. I do too, but I can't force it, and I would never use a tool or a method that wouldn't be totally in line with Facebook, which is the thing that we've
Right.
seen. Apps come and go in this regard, but
You got
patience
to
is
be on the
key.
official API. Yeah. And, going back to patience, I think it goes back to, oh gosh, I was just going to, it's so funny you brought up this patience thing because I was literally thinking marketers are impatient as hell. Not just
Mm-hmm.
marketers, businesses. They're impatient as hell. And that's why you saw so many people going, messenger marketing, chatbots, it's the future, it's here, and all this stuff. And then, like, a year later, they're like, nah, never mind. It
Yep.
didn't happen. And I'm like, what do you mean it didn't happen? It hasn't happened yet. We are still
Exactly.
so early. So it's like, okay, cool. You want to drop out? Fine. You're impatient. That's on you.
It's on you. Yeah,
But
you'll miss out.
for
And
everyone else, there is money to be made.
so here's how I'll equate it to maybe some people out there in my audience, my million people or your million people, my 5 people.
My five people.
Sometimes I feel like the Bitcoin thing. Have I missed the train or not? I mean, I heard about
Nah, it's
Bitcoin
so
so
early.
long ago, right? Back like in high school time, I was like, what is this fake nonsense? I'd rather go play
Monopoly
PlayStation than deal with
money.
this. Now I see how it's grown, right? And so I've got
Yeah.
a little bit in there, but I look at it as those people that they put in the money for Bitcoin, whether it's a little or a lot, doesn't matter. But they'll pull it back out as soon as they smell a dip. Same with the stock
Yeah.
market. This is the
Yeah.
patience thing, and so here's how I also know
It's a long
that
game.
we're like just about to start seeing the game open up to all brands needing this stuff,
Mhm.
like needing it, and they're not going to know how to do it. And there's a bunch of experts out here now. If you look hard
Exactly.
enough, when they're pushing it everywhere, and they see the benefit, the heads are going to explode. And Facebook's pushing it.
Exactly.
Every time I open up my ads manager, all I see is a push for Messenger. When you run a boosted post by default, essentially you're going to see a Messenger ad by default. Every time
Right.
you are going into look at your ads manager, it's going to now it recommends now. Hey, add the chat button for your next ad. I'm pulling up the
It's an
automations tab while we speak.
Yeah, it's so important. And like, here's the thing. Our friend Zuck, everyone
Ah,
loves Zuck.
Zuck.
He said like 2 years ago, he said that Messenger and these private communities are like the town squares, right? This is where people are going. And if you are trying to dispute that, then you're not paying attention, because
Mm-hmm.
Facebook is very concerned right now, or I guess Meta, right? Because we're talking about all their products.
Right.
They're very concerned right now with the younger generations not tapping into the social network because
Mm-hmm.
it's not for them. They're and what have you. It's the reason why is if you actually follow that demographic, they are in private messages. I have so many young people that I've seen have Instagram accounts, for instance, but you would never know they were active because they don't post publicly, or they'll post like 3 photos and then delete them. Like once a week, they'll delete their whole feed. But all this stuff is happening in the direct messages. All this stuff is happening in the private sector, that messaging platform. And this is where the action is. So when Facebook, they're sitting back and they're going, I don't know if we're allowed to cuss on your show, but I'm going to say shit.
Do anything you want
So
to do.
amazing. So they're like, shit. We all, our bread and butter are these older generations, the basically old millennials, right? and and older, and they're kind of phasing, like we're always looking forward, we're looking to web 3 at this point. We're going to get real nerdy here
Mm-hmm.
for real quick, but we're looking web 3. Who is the generation that's going to adopt web 3 faster than anyone? It's going to be the gen rate, what, a Z, right?
Z,
It's
yeah.
going to be the alphas, it's the kids, it's the young adults right now, just like millennials were the ones who adopted internet first.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we are. And Web3 is very different, and different than what we know of the internet today. And it's scary, right? We're talking blockchain, we're talking NFTs, we're talking all these technologies that older generations are very like, I don't understand it, so I don't get it. So like they just don't want to be a part of it, right? So Facebook is not stupid. The people at Facebook are clever as hell, and they see this problem. They see, okay, we are about to enter a new world. I mean, they're talking
Mm-hmm.
metaverse, but they're not the only ones. This discussion of Web 3 has been around for a while. So they're thinking, our bread and butter right now are these older generations. They've been trying to tap into young generations for a while, right? That's why we see reels, and they're trying to do everything the TikToks are doing.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons I see them adopting a lot and pushing a lot towards messaging, because they understand that the younger demographics and older demographics, everyone really, but definitely the younger demographics, spend a large amount of time in direct messaging, in private messaging. And if we can tap into where the people are, then we being Facebook, Meta, the business, can they can use that, right? That's powerful. They can make money off that, because we are the products. As much as y'all don't like to hear it, we, the people, the user base, we are the products of the platform. So Facebook needs the product.
Mm-hmm. And for
Your
me,
camera just
that was
doesn't
so.
like us.
We just taught a class here in like the most short and sweet way. Tap into the people. I love that. And so here's what is the most interesting fact. Okay, the most interesting fact to me is, guys, Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp, they're all ending up where in the same place.
In the same
In the
inbox.
same place. And so to me, the signs are clear. And I'm going to point my screen over to actually my actual screen, if I can navigate there. Bam. So if you don't know, this is your Facebook Business Manager. And so I hit my inbox. And
Mm-hmm.
so what we've got here is all your messages, Instagram messages, okay? Then you've got comments, and your comments on Instagram and Facebook. So I was wondering why months ago I started getting notifications in this app for comments when I really used it for the just the inbox, the one-on-one messaging. Now it's all making sense. And so here are the suggestions. By the way, don't know what kind of flows to make. Here you go. Here's your signs. Facebook is literally telling us what to make here when you're looking at the
Right.
suggested presets, your instant reply, your away message, your FAQs, all this stuff. And here's the big one is comment to message. So this is anyone that's telling you if you use a keyword in a auto growth tool, what do we tell them, Kelly? That they're wrong, right? Like this,
Right.
Facebook is literally giving us the ability to. Let's fix my camera
Right.
here.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean it's so funny to hear everyone's an expert until Facebook proves you wrong. So, no, I think that anyone who's not taking advantage of the automation space is going to be behind. Like if you're when it comes to technology, it moves so fast that if you are saying, it's unfamiliar, so meh, you're I hope you're retiring soon because it's not, back when we started, it was like, well, in 5 years, you'll be out of business if you don't get into social media. In 10 years, you'll be out of business if you don't have a website. No, man, like next year, you're going to be out of business because
We've seen
this
it.
is where we're going. This is where the internet is going.
This is
Like
why
if you're
Tap the Table
afraid of,
exists. You
yeah,
paraphrased
if
it
you're
perfectly.
afraid of
The
like
places that weren't
technology,
selling things online, guess what? They're not here on Hilton Head anymore. They're not here in Bluffton. They
they don't
had to do
exist.
this. They were forced to. If they
Yeah,
didn't, and they tried to hold out, they closed. That's
right.
it.
You have no choice. So
The times
get
are
on
changing.
board. Get
And
on board.
you know,
And it's actually really easy. It's really easy.
it is. And I'll say, just outside of restaurants, what I've seen in the manufacturing world has
Hmm.
blown people away. And
Hmm.
I think the best piece of advice I could give, after we're growing up on year 2 now, the best piece of advice I could give to someone out there that's either thinking about building automation or using it for their business is jump in early and reap the
Hmm.
benefits. To me, this is the same thing as when Facebook ads were really, really hitting back in the day, where your money
Hmm.
just went so far and your
Or
reach
like
was so
email
far.
marketing if you go real far.
You know what I mean? And the early adopters, patience. You're going to see all of the things pay off as these
Hmm.
bigger brands move forward. The ticket price on one of the worst bots I've ever seen. I think I've told your people this before. It's like
Yeah.
$75,000. It took like 7 months
It
to hard code that we
it's,
could build in 10 minutes. $75,000 for a team of
and
people. A team.
yeah, exactly. And that actually brings up a great point, Ryan, because this is something we talked a bit about in the chat, is that the technologies, and actually, Ruheen, you're here. Ruheen's working on a project that will tie into what I'm about to say. But the way that things are going is you don't have to be a coder to do any of
Mm-hmm.
this. You
Exactly.
could do custom apps, custom APIs. You could connect all the things. That's is what we
Mm-hmm.
say in my community, right? All the things. You are be able to connect anything you want, and you can create anything you want, and it is fully integrated through apps, through like your own custom app. Ryan, we've talked about having your own custom app connected to Messenger before and how easy it is now. And Ruheen's working on with her husband a tool that's going to help non-developers create apps for the app market, so you can sell your own apps even though you don't have to know how to code. Like is becoming so easy. And if you know the foundations and you know the rules and you know the strategy, you're going to be
You go far.
dangerous. You're going to go
You,
far.
just like she's saying, Tap the Table could not have existed 3 years ago.
Hmm.
4 years ago, never, 5, 6 years ago, I would have laughed at the thought of what we've
People,
got going on
yeah,
right now. But the fact that Facebook and Instagram are such powerful tools that they're like, hey, we're so big and we're so awesome and powerful, we do all these things. We're gonna just give you other guys super easy ways to do the things that you want to do. Hello, this has saved months and months of time. All the money that I don't have to hire for the development has been much more obtainable, and
right.
it's because things are becoming easier and faster and more
It's
convenient,
just
even on the
easier and
code
easier.
side. So where, as marketers, we don't like to play with code. And historically, you've had to have a developer to do the fun things, and
Right.
now you can do
You don't
all the things with Google Sheets, guys. We should do. You should
like,
do a whole course, and I
you
think
should
someone.
do a whole course.
You should just go ahead and pile it on.
You
But
should see
or
my list of to-dos right
the
now.
video. I think someone else mentioned this. I think bot sheets or just Google Sheets
Yeah.
in general. I think
Yeah.
people would love to see that. I mean, and that's really when you taught us how to count with Messenger. That was the next thing that I had to master
It's
and
easy.
learn was,
Yeah.
bot sheet stuff. It was mind blowing.
I think it does blow people away when you start talking about what is possible, right? Because it's easy for us to say, well, you could do a comment growth tool. They're like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah, they
Like,
have no idea.
what are the use cases? Like, I love case studies. We actually just had Michael Keenan, who is the case study writer for Shopify and for ManyChat. He came into my private community, which you're a member of, so go watch it. And he
Yes, I
did a
am.
training on how to create case studies. But they're so powerful because what they do is they they give you as an agency the power to show what is possible. Because you can go to someone and say, I can build you a chatbot, and they're like, what? Like, so is how is that solving a problem for me, right?
If you can tell
So
people you're going to build them a chatbot, they're probably going to tell you, "I don't want one." You
that's
know,
exactly what it is.
it's the
That's
truth.
exactly
We
what
don't
it
need that.
is.
When
You
I've
need
never
to give
sold
them
one
a
like that.
solution.
What has always been the key is, hey, how much money? Hey, restaurant guy, did you make any money from Facebook today or this week or this month ever? Have you
Right?
ever made a money? Have you ever made an online sale through Facebook? No, you don't even answer your messages. Well, that's a lot of money that nowadays you cannot afford to
You
miss.
can't ignore it.
So,
You can't ignore
in
it.
those cases where the businesses actually have, manufacturing, maybe it's not such the best example, but in the businesses where the costs, cutting costs, are extremely important, and answering quickly this is a no-brainer sell. Like,
Absolutely.
it is a
You cannot
no-brainer.
send people like restaurants and real estate, right? These are the big
This is the
ones.
big one.
People are sending messages and they're going to ask you a question. And even if you have an automation set up, and most people have, like, if they have one, it's the real basic, like, sorry, we do not check these messages. Please call us
Exactly
at.
right.
And
This is
I'm
so
like, fool,
bad.
I am not calling you. Who in the chat is picking up the phone to call some real estate agent you've never met that you found on Google just because you had a couple questions? Hell no. You're going to move on to the next spot. And if the restaurant's not replying to you, you're going to move on to the next spot. Nobody's picking up the phone to call you because you don't check your messages. So why are you, and I'm saying you as a business, if this is what you're doing, why are you chasing people away? And if you're ignoring them, you're chasing them away. If you're responding with, we don't check these messages, go call us at, or go to our website, you're chasing them away. Stop making people work to buy from you. Make it as easy as possible. And it's easy to do.
I was just on a buddy of mine, Kyle and Sarah from the the National Restaurant Owners Podcast, and he's a super cool guy. And he as a restaurant owner, he can say all the things, right? And in that space, and I agree with him here. And I've always felt this way, even though I know I'm no one, I'm not of your level, the bot queen, ladies and gentlemen. This is my
Oh, come on
hero here,
now.
guys.
You
Seriously.
run an entire platform. Give yourself some
Seriously,
freaking credit.
you inspired me and so many others, and a lot of people they're afraid to give credit. But Kyle said, for someone to not respond to your customer is the biggest screw
Insulting.
you
It
that you could
is.
say. And so
It
in the
is.
restaurant world, when you're going to spend 50, $100 or more, depending on your wallet, right, out on the town or at a restaurant, even just for dinner or for lunch, even, you
Right.
know, pandemic or not, everything's got to be in alignment. And I just feel
Right.
like missing the boat on 3 or 4 messages in a night over time equates to
Yeah.
thousands of dollars in a week. My camera
Absolutely.
just hates me so much.
Are you working off a battery? What's going on? I want to ask people who are watching, those of you who build chat solutions, how easy is it? Like, seriously, how easy is it to set up an automation that helps with the basic things that someone might ask if they come into the chat asking about real estate or restaurants or whatever? How easy? It's so easy. I'm going to say it's easy, but y'all can answer in the chat. If you are a chat marketer, and you know this, it is so easy. So why are you making it so hard for people to buy from you? And like you said, it's like so insulting to not respond to people. It is. Ruhid says it's stupidly easy. And it is. And honestly, and you've said this before, like, restaurant owners, restaurant managers, they don't want to do it because they've got 1,000 other things to focus on. So, like, if you're an agency, if you're a marketer, if you're a chat marketer, like, you can sell this. It's such an easy solution that they need because they're currently chasing people away. They're insulting people. And as we see more and more younger generations starting to spend their money, which they are, if you still think that the millennials are young and they're the ones you should be focusing on in terms of, like, the new market share, sweetheart, I'm a millennial and I'm 40. I've owned 3 houses. I'm about to buy a fourth. please stop it. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
you
think
need to
I'm a
go.
millennial here. I think that we are getting older. I
Seri-
feel like I'm getting old
Seriously, I
anyway.
mean, there's nothing wrong if that's your demographic, but my point is that you should always be looking at the next demographic that you're going to make money off of, just like Facebook is looking at, just like Meta. They're looking at how are we going to stay relevant, not just today, but in the future. Who's spending money right now? And who's going to spend money in 10 years and 5 years? And so you need to make sure that you're in the DM answering questions, because I guarantee you that my kids who are alphas, this is like 2 generations back, they will not call your restaurant. They won't call you. They don't want to talk on the phone with you, friend. I'm sorry.
This is
I
true.
don't want to talk on the phone, and I'm a freaking old millennial.
That was before I talk about what's on my screen here. I want to say this too. This is what the one of the first real client chatbots I put in to a client's social ecosystem, I guess you'd call it. Um, it was a hotel, and part of the funnel, or one of the neat flows, was to collect their email and phone number. But what I decided to do was give them the option. And so, as part of the funnel, and this is psychology, I wanted the client to see this all working. So, more so than just notifications, I wanted them to see certain messages. So, all day long, when we were running this campaign, the client who had the notifications on her phone was they were seeing guests say, "Call me" or "Text me." Because we would say, how do you want to be followed up with if you want
Yeah.
to win the prize? Call me is a quick reply. Text me, quick reply. And so all day long, and it appears like they're typing it in the notifications, because they're literally saying, oh, call me, call me, call me. They want me to text them. I mean, text, email. This is the other thing I wanted to talk about quickly here before we sign off on this impromptu deal. The other side of the coin of the internet is social and search. Search is the thing that up until this point has not really been a thing that we as chat marketing people have ever looked at, I think, is a fair statement, because this has not been in existence. Well, for the past couple months at least, this has been an open program. Move my phone out of the way. I'm going to show you guys how it works here in a minute. But Google Business Messages is going to be a huge thing in
Oh,
my
yeah.
predictions of 2022.
Absolutely.
And every Android phone is equipped with a means to communicate. And with iPhone, people like myself, I think a large percentage at least have Google Maps installed on their phone. Google
Yep.
Maps is the medium or the channel, or the application where you're able to utilize this. So the Maps
Yeah.
program and I think maybe even the Google search regular search app may allow it. But this is such a powerful tool. Have you seen this yet? I forget if you've seen
Who,
the
me?
Google
Are
side.
you
Yeah.
are you kidding
Have you
me?
already
People
made
are
your
like,
bots already?
no, people are like fighting with me in the mini chat and in my group when I tried, because I put a request in for mini chat to add Google My Business, and they're like, well, you need to get more people to vote it up. So I share it, and people are like, there's no chat feature. And they thought I was crazy. People were saying I was like stupid or something. They didn't say stupid straight up, but they were like implying that I didn't know what I was talking about. And I was like, I'm gonna get y'all some screenshots,
Yeah.
because I have been managing Google My Business for clients, and they have messaging. Sweetheart.
Yeah, and I'll tell y'all something right here. You never question the bot queen. This
Don't
is crazy.
question
Never ever
me.
do this unless you've got a resume that stacks up.
You
I
don't
just
know
feel
me.
like there's no leg for people to stand on here. All right, so I want to put the camera on me, but my camera's dying. Thanks a lot, Sony. I guess gotta get a new camera here.
Dude,
I'm
no,
gonna show
I
you
you
my.
got
This
to
is
get the
how
battery pack that you can plug in.
I think it's
Stop
just
doing this to yourself.
too hot in here after like 30 minutes or so it just dies. But check this out, guys. So
Oh,
this is Google Maps. Can you see my screen? I hope you can. There's been so many
I
times
know
I've
I'm
just
full
done these
screen right
things for
now.
like an hour and no one sees my screen because it's off or the volume's off. But
I'll just sit here and smile since I'm on
anyways,
screen either way.
yeah. So here's Google Maps,
Yes, we see
guys,
it.
and I'm going to show you how this will work. So here's Tio's, which is a really awesome restaurant here on Hilton Head where I live. And so I see the listing here. I can get the directions, order, which is a really cool feature, reserve a table, or we can chat. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was not even aware this is on my phone. Other fun
Mm-hmm.
fact, I have an iPhone. Apple Business Chat is also a thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
bam. hello, Googlebot.
Right
Where's
there.
your haters at?
Yeah.
Where are they at? Could tag them. Just kidding.
Dude, I took screenshots and I was sharing. I
And
was
so,
like,
yeah.
and then they were tagging their friends as like, oh, maybe we were wrong. Let's tell everyone.
Now I can
Interesting.
assure you, it's 7:15 right now where I live. They're jamming. There's no one there answering this message, and no one there even like knows I have a podcast. Believe me, they're too busy working. They don't watch Ryan stuff. They're too busy serving the food or making the food. Okay, but I'm going to ask, can I make reservations? And what should happen is we get a little chat back. My
Heck
heart
yeah,
dropped for
man.
a second when I thought it wasn't
It
going
should
to
be
appear.
like, let's hook
That's
it
the
up.
worst,
Let's get
right?
you that reservation.
And so, bam, in this case, I'm easily able to get reservations.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's fun, Google, they're doing things really, really smart. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
they're asking for user feedback automatically. They are recording feedback. You cannot have. So this is awesome. You cannot have a bad bot in the Google ecosystem, or they kick your bot to the curb, like literally. If
Love
you have
it.
a fail rate, so if you get too many people to get a thumbs down, and they'll hit you up within a 24-hour window
Right.
automatically, thumbs up, thumbs down on this response. And if your bot gets too many thumbs
You're
down,
out.
you're out. And these people are not. They will email you by like, here's their
So
email.
keep
You know what I
it
mean?
simple. Keep it
Yes. Do you see how simple
simple.
this was? I did not even ask any
You
questions
do
here,
not
but
need to
guess
make
what?
it overcomplicated.
30 days I've got to reach out to them manually or with automation in the Google network. Let's see if my camera's back.
You the business. You the business. Make that clear. I also think it's very clear. You did say it, but I'm going to make it extra clear. If you're trying to find Google My Business chat on your desktop, you will not find it. It is on mobile. That is where they find it. So that's why I think so many people are fighting me on it, right? Because they're like, "Oh, I'm looking at it right now. I don't see it." I'm like, get on your phone. It's there.
Yeah, and so I guess you also, it needs to be enabled. I guess is also a
It
piece
does need
there.
to be enabled. Not all businesses have it enabled. And also, it will automatically turn off if you are not responsive.
Respond. Yes, that's okay. That's the same as getting the automation kicked out. Like they
Yeah,
just like take it away or like there's unpublish it.
exactly.
And
Yeah, and
again,
you the business will get a notification. It'll say like we're about to turn off your bot because you're not responding. Would you like to be responsive? Essentially, it'll warn you because that happened to one of my clients.
I just was astounded that because in Facebook, you know how hard it is to get in touch with any real person, like
Yeah,
seriously. And their
right.
chat people, I hate to say it, aren't the best in the world.
No,
Google got is a whole different ball game, and you're literally dealing with people, and you're like they and I test these sorts of things because sometimes the email automation stuff is so good from some of these companies. It's like, man, was that a part of a funnel or like did someone
right.
type that to me? And so I've done this to you before, and you always type back super fast. So it's like I can never really tell with you. With them, it was a person every time that we had communication when we were launching someone. Every time we have to get something improved, they look at your stuff and it's
Hmm.
constantly monitored. So they're going to be it's a
Wow.
much better experience and a big benefit. Your business is going to now be in that Google Assistant ecosystem. So I don't have an
Right.
Android phone, but just like I, ask Siri something that's going to give me answers from Yelp a lot of times. An Android
Yeah.
phone is now going to have that direct
You're
vocal
like, hey
communication
Google,
with your chatbots.
look up, tap the table.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Well, I don't know if it'll.
My table.
Should it
Oh,
should.
it
We,
took
we,
up
we've
top
got
Thai table. It's a Thai restaurant.
Tio's would be a great example, and so
Yeah.
Tio's restaurant would be a much better example than mine. But they've got multiple locations, but also the fact that we do the ordering inside the system itself, you would hopefully in the near future be able to say, "Hey Google, order tacos from Tio's," and then without any multiple steps other than a confirmation, the order
Hmm.
happens and it will be
Amazing.
on the card itself that's on file. That's
Amazing. Yeah.
hopefully our next
And
step.
it's not far away. This is not far fetched. This is already in the works.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's mind blowing. You guys, if you're sitting there and you're like, oh, chatbots, it's just so future facing. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're not even touching the surface of the psycho things that are about to happen in the world in the online
Yeah.
space. And I know you and I had talked about in the future soon, hopefully, doing a discussion about kind of where tech is going. because it will blow your mind. Especially, I'm very excited about what you're already working on. I mean, your whole business is based on is the NFTs, or not NFTs, sorry, the
Right.
NFCs, which is literally tap, right? Tap the table, because that's the idea of bringing the online and the offline into one. And so all these things come together. Like, this is the future. We're going to be walking around and be able to tell our assistants through our little headset, like, hey, order me, make a reservation. And your chatbot automation assistant will go make the damn reservation for you while you're walking up and stuff. It's crazy. It's
Totally.
crazy what's
One of the
coming up.
fun things that I just learned to do. Hopefully, you can see my fancy schmancy blue, my blue aura. Well, the tap the table premise is not as short sighted as many people might assume, but tapping the table with NFC will be a part of American life in general, I believe. And I
Absolutely.
think that
I
some people
100%
will
agree.
maybe prefer things, hey Siri, hey Google, or whatever. But some things like you don't want to talk. Okay, for example, if I want to change the mood here, put the mood lighting on here, I can tap the table and let's see. Hopefully, it will work. And my little lights should change from
Or like the
blue
shoe lights.
to red. So now we got
I
the
see
red.
it. It went to like a red.
Now it's
Yeah.
red back here, and this is with a tap. And I've got two stickers on my table. And if I tap the other one, then I call it TTT blue. It'll go back to blue here eventually. And this is all done with the same idea of when you're building your flows, guys. You take it one step at a time, and
Hmm.
easy is better, less is more. And when you're making automation, it's the same thing. So I could say,
Simple.
all right, tap the table, lights turn onto the podcast lights, the music is shut off, the air conditioner hopefully will go down so I stop sweating. It's these
It's like
things of this nature.
everything's ready.
Exactly. The
Touch.
sign
It's like
out front in your
amazing.
studio turns on that says in
Right.
session, and it's all based on a tap. That's what
Right.
we can do. And then you pull in things like hopefully we'll do another course after you finish this next course. I'm gonna need you to do one on Zapier, right? Can you just put
Oh
that on the
gosh, how
list?
many people have asked me that
I
one?
think that'd be a
But I
big one
think that
too.
Zapier will eventually be put out of business from these app tools like we were talking about earlier, where you can build your own apps and stuff, because you won't need Zapier. Now, I think Zapier and Integromat are fantastic tools for non-developers, because it's the duct tape of the internet, right? It connects
Totally.
all the dots.
I
And
agree
so
with
all
you.
these things come together, all these little puzzle pieces are coming together and connecting.
I'm a big fan of Integromat. It's a much cheaper version. I'm sure you're
Hmm.
familiar with it. It's a much cheaper version of Zapier, Zapier, whatever. But for me, it's the time saving factor that they offer is always worth it. And I think integration companies will be around for a
Yeah.
long time in that regard. But
Yeah.
um, it's a huge thing in restaurants to be an integration company. There's only like three of them, and so because of that, it's like very unique or very expensive or a very long wait to have that direct integration. So I think mini chatbot to purchase to POS system. That's the only
Mhm.
way in general that can work is through a direct integration through
Right.
a closed
Right.
API because it's so many credit cards. That
Right. Well,
said,
also you have, sorry, go ahead,
the
finish on that.
Bbot. This is so big. Bbot, who is a company that they are in contactless ordering too. They don't do anything with social
Mhm.
media, but their new product is an API for that reason. So now we're seeing
It's
technology move
fantastic.
so fast that now not only do you not have to be a developer to make an app, you also don't have to know multiple languages and multiple systems to
Right.
make things happen. So think
Connect.
your chatbot just with a tap of the table now connecting to your reservation to your you've already
Yeah.
paid before you
It's
sat down
seamless. It's
scenario.
all
Exactly.
seamless. Yeah. What I was going to say is the more integrations you have, the more likely your bot is going to break. And
This
so
is
that's
so
another
true.
reason. This is another reason why I think when you have seamless integration through API, it is generally better if you have a
Totally.
very active chatbot, right? A busy restaurant, you're not going to want to use Zapier, because how many times have I don't know about you, but I've used Zapier and I'll have like a launch or something and half the emails won't transfer over or something like that because something broke. And so
Something
then I got to
broke.
go
Oh
back and
my.
like redo it. It's just, when you're doing it for yourself, great. If it's for a small project, great. But if you are working, I just think that there's a tool for everything. Obviously, you just have to
Totally.
pick the right tool for the job. In the same respect, and I know you want to wrap up here soon. We could just talk forever, right?
We
In the
could
same
talk
respect of
forever.
like, I know we could just nerd out. I am moving to Texas, right? And so the nerdy self that I am, giving you another example of how you can use these technologies to make your life easier. And this isn't even a business application, although it could be for moving companies, is that I went out and bought these QR code sticker things and NFT stickers. And basically, when I create boxes of things that I'm packing, and I actually can take pictures of the content of my boxes and save them to my QR code and have that on the outside of my box. So instead of like a rough, like, this is the master bedroom, like, where does this need to go? Sure, you can put that, but what the hell is in these boxes? And I don't have to open the boxes when I'm moving. I can literally just scan and say, oh, these are the contents. Here's a list of everything. Here's a picture of what's in here. And this is like super, super cool shit when you're talking about moving companies or storage companies. Because what kind of amazing, and this isn't even chat marketing stuff. This is like just the tech that you can utilize in so many ways. So I guess with that is I want to encourage everyone to open their minds to the possibilities of how all these pieces are separately powerful. And then when you take those separate powerful tools like NFTs, sorry, I keep saying NFT because I got NFT on my mind. I've been
Yeah, it
listening to
is
podcasts all
everywhere.
day.
Yeah, I thought people were just, funny fact, I thought people were everywhere
NFCs.
messing that up. I thought
I
y'all
know,
know it's
like
NFC, right? And then it's just a
yeah,
totally
it's not
different thing.
NFT. We mean NFCs, which are the tappable
Yeah,
technology,
before you
near
say anything
field
else, Tom, I'm so
communication.
sorry. I don't know if you can see this, but this is my.
The red dot.
I didn't clock in for work today, and I'm going to get in trouble by the big boss. And so I got my time sheet here.
Ah,
Do you know, folks? Kelly's here, taught me this here with her accounting. This sticker, right, is also my time clock because I can just go ahead and tap this sucker, and then we get a little
what?
notification, and then it just tells me you just clocked in, Ryan, and then we see here, oh, there I am. I just clocked in today. Oh,
It's like
I got to clock out to be on the podcast and go on break so I can talk to you guys here. So let me just go ahead and do the
it's just
same
another
exact
use
thing so I
case.
can see it. And now you can see that I've clocked out. Kind of fun, right? This is just a thing that
It's
we
just
did the witching hour the other day.
it's so cool what you can do with these technologies, and it's just simple, simple, simple things, right? But it's simple
Simple.
things that create huge solutions. And then when you take all of these simple things and you start putting them together and you create really truly an omnipresent marketing, right?
They're
So we're
everywhere.
taking NFTs, we're taking QR codes, we're taking the web, we're taking offline, we're creating automations, and it's all connecting the dots to like your reservation, like you said, your reservations connect to your POS, connects to, the ticketing, like everything is connected. It's That's where you're going to solve clients' problems.
You're exactly right. I think this will be a good place to end, and I think any chat marketing people, because I'm sure like loads of your people, if they go back to this too, any of them that think, well, should I spend more time in this industry or is it really coming? When we see the things that we're showing you with Google investing hugely
Mm.
in a big way, and you see Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, every time you log into your business page, guys, you're going to get this notification that says, have you connected your Instagram yet? Have you connected your WhatsApp yet? That's the one that I'm seeing a lot now is the WhatsApp. They're telling you what's coming. When you're seeing
Right.
new features being built for developers, new
Right.
Instagram comment tools, and then you're seeing the most powerful tools now becoming native, this is the future. And so we are chess players in a game or in an arena of marketers and what I think who are checkers players. We're playing chess. We've already thought, well, the creative has to work, like you mentioned. We've got to have a good end goal KPI indicator, and then we got to take care of all these
Mm-hmm.
comments that we're going to get. The reason we have an inbox, and this is what I tell clients, and I love telling them this, especially if they've got no messages in their account when I take over. They got no messages, like a couple in a year. I'm like, the reason you have this inbox is because Facebook wants it to be flooded. They want it to be so busy that you require automation. And so that's when our kind of knowledge and tools, when our real estate people, hello, my area is so blown up, they get so many leads. They only want to
Mm-hmm.
get a text message if it's a $1 million plus sale. Otherwise, they've got already
Right.
people they're dealing with. So they're much more efficient than people that have to fish through all these conversations and type at, what's your budget? what do you think is more awkward, asking someone their budget in an automated way or in a one-on-one
So much
way?
easier.
You know,
So much easier. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you just hit it on the head for anyone who's like, well, how do I sell this stuff? I'm like, literally, you are selling what Ryan, just
a
go say
solution.
exactly what Ryan just said. Like, Facebook wants your inbox to be overwhelmed,
They want it to be
like, it
flooded.
wants you to succeed. So let's make that happen.
That's it. Let's make that happen, man. I wish I had my right shirt on. I wore it all day. Don't make it and make it until you make
Make
it.
it till
Right.
you make it.
It's my
Yeah. Make it
favorite
till you
one,
make
man.
it.
My wife says it looks really good on me for you men out there trying to like
Hey.
understand should I buy the baby got bought stuff, and I get all
Yeah.
the questions about the back of it because it says baby
Baby
got
got
bought
bought.
on there on the back. Nice touch.
Yeah. Thanks.
So,
I'm
anyways,
actually
guys, I
thinking
just
about
want to know.
closing
I
that
hope we
shop. So
encouraged you guys. Thanks for watching, and it's 99% all of Kelly's people. So thanks for dealing with me as you watch Kelly, and hopefully you learned something here. And join all of her groups if you can find them, all her secret ones, and then let me into those, the ones that I'm
and
not
most of
in.
these people here are in my membership, so they know
Oh
they're
yeah, they
in the
already know.
know.
Yeah, see, and that's the other thing. Just one little tidbit. We're the ones that like if you're in this niche of digital, in my opinion, you know everything. Like you're trying to understand the whole scope, and you're
Hmm.
looking for the thing that is the most powerful. And you've
Right.
honed on that skill before anyone even knows. Like in that group I mentioned, to me,
Hmm.
these are the smartest people in social in that group that we're in that I won't mention. He's very secretive. But when I dropped that in there and no one said anything, I was like, this is how far we are ahead. You know what I mean? Like we are so,
Yeah.
and now it's here. It's here. It's
I think,
coming.
yeah, I think it's a mix though. I think it's, and I know we, God, we need to just
I could
sign
just
off.
go on and on and on. I'm so
I
bad
know,
at
I
this.
know. But in those groups though, I don't think they're all that far ahead. I
Well,
think
nowadays they've
you've
gotten
got
so many. When I first joined that
there's
group,
so
it
many
was
people who have no clue. No
you're
clue.
so
And
right.
the amount of bad advice, oh my gosh, people are
I'm
like
so glad that
answering
people like you
questions.
can put that stuff out. Like I wait till it's like
I'm
midnight
just
before I talk
like,
my stuff about all these people because they're not going to see it anyways. But it makes me feel good.
well,
You're the
I'm just
Kelly.
like
If
it.
you're in a group with Kelly and you say something wrong, you will know that you're wrong and you won't make that mistake again. you know,
No, I mean, I
and
don't
you do
want
it in a
because
nice
here's
way unless they get
but here's
catty
the
and then you're
thing.
like, all right, hammer
If
drop.
you tell someone in our space, in the chat marketing space, if
Something
someone goes and
wrong.
asks a
It's
compliance
huge.
question or something, if they're like, "Hey, can I send a message outside the 24-hour whatever it is?" and some person is like, "Yeah, you could do it. Here's how you do it." And I'm going to go in there and be like,
Your
"Dude, do
message is for
you want
everyone.
to
Hello.
get shut down? Do you
Yeah,
want this
and
person's
exactly.
page to be deleted?" So, it's important that you understand that there's a lot of awesome people in all the communities who are well vetted, know what the hell they're talking about, but just be careful who you get your advice from
And
because there's too many experts, too
before
many.
I forget, last thing, and I talked about this with you before, and this will really be the end. I really we'll gotta talk offline about the legal stuff of all that messaging that's required with
Mm.
your marketing stuff because that's a lot of things
Hmm.
like the legal stuff. I leave that for the smart people, the lawyers and such. But this is something where I feel like here's what I'll leave the audience with. Messenger
As your
as my
camera goes out
dies.
again.
Here, put the camera back on her. Anyways, this is just a sign. I'll end it here saying messenger or message or chat marketing, whatever you want to call it, is so powerful that you really need to understand actual rules, guys, and not just for
Yes.
your ads manager account.
Yes.
You get into the text messaging space and the telemarketing space and
You got to know it
deal with
all.
people's emails and data. You need a professional here. Okay, it's
Hmm.
not just about the tool.
Hmm.
You have to have a professional running the tool. Ferrari is just a Ferrari. You got a race car driving that thing. It's gnarly. You have an
Exactly.
inexperienced person driving a Ferrari. They're going to crash this very expensive car, and you're going to get a
Exactly.
big fine and get in trouble and all that stuff. So the only reason I can say all these things that and I have been these past like I guess almost 2 years now is I've watched every one of your videos. I've seen everything you've done. I'm in all
Oh
your
my
groups,
gosh.
and
I'm
you
obsessed with
you
the
show
compliance.
all of the things, all the important stuff that I sometimes don't reveal or don't talk about. I talk about other
I know
stuff.
you like tell me something. You're like, here's this cool thing. Don't tell anyone yet,
yeah,
Kelly.
stop telling all the secrets. Well, Kelly,
Well,
thank
I
you
like
so
to give.
much.
I'm like a giver. You're
I'm gonna
welcome.
have a talk with
Thanks
my
for,
little Sony camera here,
dude. You
and
need okay. Everyone needs to take a second, and I'm gonna show you. Man, it's not. Never mind. I don't have it plugged in. I was gonna show you what I showed Roheen. This awesome battery pack that you plug into the wall.
I
It's
think
a
it's
must
just
have.
this camera is as awesome as it served me. It's just not meant to go 30 minutes or more. It's like it's shutting off every time. So I got to
That's
stand
why you
up.
got to
And
go with the
I'm not standing
cannons.
up again. 3 times is enough. There you go. And y'all got the Bot Queen today. Thank y'all for watching us, and I hope you learned a little something and get inspired. And if you're in it,
Thanks,
stay in it
everyone.
to win it, man. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Bye.